Okay, so this is tutorial video number 2. So now this is what to do once you've opened up your Google form. Well, the first thing you want to do is give it a title. So I'm going to go ahead and click right up here. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to go ahead and title my Google form. I'm going to call it Seuss Bio Sample Test. And once you click down here to start typing, you'll notice that the title that you typed at the top goes right into your assessment at the bottom. And right here, the form description, that's usually where I would insert the directions for the test. So I'm going to type something like, read the following questions and provide the correct answer. Okay, and you can see it already gave me the first question, so I'm going to go ahead and click. And I'm going to enter my description, not my description, I'm sorry, my first question. And always, always, always make your first question their name. And you'll see why at the next tech session, when actually we start talking about how to correct it, because you don't want them to correct their name because it will be different, so it'll end up marking it wrong. So you always enter the name, and then later on down the road I'll show you how to fix it so it doesn't, grade their name. So we want their name. Obviously that's not a multiple choice question, so we're going to change that to a short answer. And this is where they will be prompted to type their name. Of course, we want to make it a required question. And then I can go ahead and what I like about Google Forms is I can duplicate this question because I'm going to create a similar question, and I'm going to make this teacher name. And for 3rd grade, I always let them type their teacher name in because hopefully they know who their teacher is. However, the younger kids, you might want to change short answer to multiple choice. You can even get fancy and create a drop-down, and that's also a really good technology skill to go over with them, to click on a drop-down arrow and select a choice. I'm going to go ahead and make it multiple choice. Option 1 will be Mrs. Hall, and then I have Mrs. Luczkowiak, Luczkowiak. We have Mrs. Stackhouse, and of course, the lovely Mrs. Young. And of course, make sure that's a required question. Yes, I can choose to duplicate this. Oh, I just noticed a typo. I'm going to go back and fix that. I can duplicate this, or I can just go down here and add another question. So for this one, I don't know, let's make this a short answer, but I'm going to get a little fancy, and I want to insert a video. So I'm going to insert a little video for them to watch. So it brings me right to YouTube. I don't know. Let's go with green eggs and ham. Obviously, whatever video you choose, make sure that you screen it first to make sure it's appropriate. I'm also looking at the length. This one looks good. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to say, please watch the video. I like it in the middle. And I'm going to go ahead and add a question. Retell the story of green eggs and ham. Obviously, they're going to need some space, so this will provide a long answer for them. Of course, I want it to be required. But that's getting really, really fancy. You don't have to insert a video. I do like adding images because if I'm doing something, I'll just take a screenshot on the computer and I can upload the image and ask them questions about it, which is fantastic, and also great for asking them inference questions. So you can insert a video, you can insert a photo. If you want to get really fancy, you can add sections. So if I want to continue to the next section, I would think you would want to use this if you have kind of like how the PSSA would be arranged. You would have a multiple choice section. You would have a section where they need to read a short story or a poem and then answer the questions. So this would be a really good time to create sections and use them. Obviously, you don't have to do that, especially with some of our younger students. 3 or 4 questions would just be appropriate. You don't have to get that fancy. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that section and get rid of it. And I'm just going to pretend that I am done with my Google form. And I want to go ahead and I'm going to change this up. I don't like the way it looks. So I'm going to click on the color palette. You can pick your favorite color, or you can go right down here to theme. And you have little categories to choose from. I don't know, sports and games. Oh, just kids. So I'm going to pick something. Kids like cars. I'm going to pick that one. Select. And you'll notice in a second that it changes the theme and makes it all cutesy-wootsy, or however you like it to look. Now, the most important part, I'm going to go ahead and move that toolbar over here. If you don't remember anything I say out of this whole tutorial, this is the one thing you absolutely must do. So go into More, and you want to go into your settings. This is what you need to change. You don't want anyone in the Penn Argyl School District. You want anyone, and the reason is because if you send your students this link or post it on your website and they click on it, it's going to prompt them to log on. Our kindergartners, first and second graders don't have an account to log on, so that would be impossible. So make sure you change that to anyone. Third grade teachers, if you want to go ahead and require them to log on, that's great, go for it. But I recommend changing it to anyone. Make sure you click Save. And then the little paper airplane allows you to send it. This is how I share my Google form. I like to shorten it because that's just way too long for me. I press Control-C to copy. And the best way to share links with your students, if you're not using Google Classroom, which I know many of us are not yet, I copy the link and I'll switch right over to my website. Let me go into edit mode of my website. I already put up a picture before because I knew I was going to do this. So I'm clicking on the picture. I'm going to change the link. So now all I'm doing is just pasting that link to my Google form. I always make sure it opens in a new window just to keep things nice and neat. And click OK. Make sure you click Save. And then I'm just obviously going to check and make sure that link opens up. Voila, here it is. The students can enter their name, select their teacher, watch the video, and answer my question. Click Submit. And that's it. That's how you create a Google form.